You know, some buildings, kind of like people, get to live more than one life. It's like their walls just soak up all the stories from different times, different worlds entirely. And let me tell you, there are very few addresses in all of New York City with a story as split down the middle, as dramatic as the one at 254 West 54th Street.
So what if one single New York City address could hold two totally different worlds? I mean, what if the exact same physical space was the epicenter for two completely separate cultural universes, and the only thing separating them was time and, well, a single flight of stairs? That is the incredible story we are going to unpack right now.
Okay, so our story is set right in the thick of it, Midtown Manhattan. We're talking about a former opera house that, believe it or not, gave birth to two absolute legends. First, the disco paradise that was Studio 54, and then, right downstairs, the modern-day heart of Broadway, 54 Below.
And the contrast here, it's just so stark. You can't ignore it. On one hand, you've got the 1970s, pure, unapologetic disco hedonism, a global epicenter for celebrity worship. Then, you flip the switch to the 21st century, an intimate hub for Broadway, this kind of modern-day speakeasy for the whole theater community. I mean, two completely polar opposite identities, born in the very same building. It's wild.
All right, so to really get what this building is now, we have to start with the ghost of what it was. Because for so many people, this address will just forever be Studio 54. It doesn't even matter that the original space is now a totally legit Broadway theater. The legend of that club, man, it still haunts the entire block. And wow, what a legend it was. This wasn't just some club, it was pure performance art. First, you had that velvet rope, a totally brutal gatekeeper that created its own drama right there on the sidewalk. But if you got inside, it was a playground for the biggest names on the planet. We're talking Warhol, Minnelli, Jagger. This is the place that gave us those iconic images, right? Like Bianca Jagger riding in on a white horse. And the infamous props, like that Man on the Moon logo with the spoon that would come down and just shower the whole dance floor in glitter. It was just pure, unadulterated excess. And that right there, that was the core of its identity. See, Studio 54 wasn't really just about dancing. It was a full-on social experiment. It was this place where, for just a few wild years, the normal rules of society, yeah, they just didn't apply.
But you know, like all truly epic parties, it had to end. The disco era faded out, the doors shut, and that global spotlight, it just moved on. But the building's love for drama, its story, oh, that was far from over. It just moved downstairs.
Okay, so if you go down into the basement of that building today, it is literally like entering another dimension. All that frantic, chaotic energy of the 70s is just gone. It's been replaced by something way more intimate, more focused. This is 54 Below.
You know, they call it Broadway's living room, and for a really good reason. It was opened by the absolute legend, Patti LuPone, and it just instantly became the home for the theater community. It's the place where stars do their solo shows, where casts have reunions. It's just where the whole industry comes to connect.
Just think about the complete sensory shift for a second. That giant pulsating disco ball, it's replaced by a single warm spotlight. The thumping, pounding bass of disco, that gives way to the gentle clinking of silverware and the sound of a lone piano. It's a total, fundamental change in energy and in purpose.
And you better believe the industry took notice. Get this, in 2022, 54 Below got a special Tony Award. That's Broadway's ultimate seal of approval. It basically cemented the club's status as a totally vital, indispensable part of the whole theater ecosystem. But see, it's more than just a place to perform. It's an incubator for new ideas. They have these series, like New Musicals at 5, that give composers a shot to test out brand new work on what is probably the most knowledgeable, critical audience on the planet. If you get a good reception here, that can literally launch a show on its journey to a huge Broadway house.
Okay, but here's maybe the most telling difference between these two worlds: how you actually get in the door. The whole philosophy of access, it just couldn't be more different, and man, does it reveal a lot about how our culture has changed.
So let's just break this down. The gatekeeper at Studio 54, the all-powerful velvet rope. At 54 Below, it's the box office. Simple as that. The criteria for getting into Studio 54 was totally arbitrary, pure judgment. Did you look cool enough? At 54 Below, it's just pure economics. If you can buy a ticket, you're in.
Today, the rules are pretty clear. There's a smart casual dress code, a cover charge, and yeah, a food and drink minimum. But, and this is super important,
Because they're a nonprofit, they've also created a ticket initiative. This offers tickets to some shows for just $15. That's a very deliberate move to make this corner of Broadway culture way more accessible.
So when you put all of this together, what does the dual life of this one single address really tell us? Well, it's a tale of two completely different legacies, and they reflect two completely different versions of New York City.
And really, the whole story can be boiled down to this one idea. Studio 54 was about seeing a celebrity. 54 Below is about hearing talent. That says it all, doesn't it? The entire cultural currency of the building has just fundamentally changed. I mean, that's a really powerful evolution when you think about it. It's a shift from seeing to hearing, from pure spectacle to real substance. The exact same building that once held the world's most exclusive party now hosts one of its most inclusive and creative stages.
So in the end, yeah, the wild party of the 70s is long, long over. But a new kind of show, one that's quieter, more intimate, but you could argue is just as vital, goes on every single night, just one floor below. And that whole transition leaves us with a pretty big question. What does this shift from hedonism to artistry, happening all under one roof, really say about the soul of New York City today?
Like this episode, support us with a like and subscribe to the New York Insider. Every week, we bring a new NYC legend or hidden secret to life. Don't miss out.